Everyone, I'm Liam Truchard from the Inland News Minute. Joining me now is Richard K. Diatley. He's the courts reporter here at the Press Enterprise and PE.com, and we're talking about the Albert Greenwood Brown case. And Rich, if you could fill in those who don't know what's going on here.
Well, in 1980, Albert Greenwood Brown kidnapped, raped, and strangled Susan Jordan. She's a 15-year-old Riverside High School student. And one of the more disturbing aspects of the case is during the evening, while her police and her parents were searching for her, Brown, using Susan Jordan's personal effects, called the family home and actually taunted her mother and said at one point, "You will never see your daughter again." He called back, gave more hints about where she might be found. Eventually, those hints led police to the discovery of her body in an orange grove off Riverside's Victoria Avenue.
Mm-hmm. And he was convicted in 1982. Has there ever been any doubt about his guilt in this case?
As you said, convicted and sentenced to death in 1982. All of his challenges have been procedural. The district attorney's office in its papers has said he's actually shown no remorse for this, and that this is not an issue of whodunit, that Albert Greenwood Brown Jr. is the man.
Okay. And now, 28 years later, he has an execution date, but that's kind of in question.
Right. His execution date got moved Monday from 1 minute after midnight Wednesday to 9 p.m. Thursday. That was because he faced a possibility of a time frame of filing an appeal for a state court decision, and Governor Schwarzenegger realized that at some point and gave him a short reprieve until that 9 p.m. Thursday deadline. But now that works against some other things too. That is 3 hours shy of the expiration date for sodium thiopental, the first of the 3 drug cocktail that will be administered to him for his execution. State guidelines are strict about this, of course, that an out-of-date drug may not be used. The manufacturer of that drug, meanwhile, has said that they are having production problems, will have no new issue of that drug until after the first of the year.
Now, there's also some court cases that are happening right now that are affecting this case, correct?
Right. His attorneys are working both the state and federal court system, and late last night, the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issued a ruling that a judge who on Friday cleared the way for Brown to be executed now has to review that decision. The appellate court said Judge Jeremy Fogel, he's in San Jose, did not give enough review to the California procedures, the new ones instituted at the end of August versus the older procedures they replaced. They also said he didn't do a good enough job of weighing the standards of the U.S. Supreme Court set for lethal injection in 2008 against the standards of the new California procedure. They pushed all that back to him and said, "You've got to look at that more carefully, and we don't care how much time it takes," significantly.
And what is he doing about that?
He asked during the mid-morning hours all the attorneys involved to file briefs within 6 hours of that posting. That would make them get those paperwork into him by mid or late afternoon. Nothing on his docket indicating whether he's going to have a hearing or simply issue a decision based on the paperwork, and nothing indicating when he's going to do that. But obviously this is a ticking clock case. It's very critical.
And no matter which way he decides, there will be further action.
Whatever side doesn't prevail, you can count on it will appeal back to the U.S. Ninth Circuit and perhaps beyond to the U.S. Supreme Court, depending on what the decisions are about.
Now, this case takes on a little bit more meaning for you. Besides covering it, you are actually scheduled to be a witness to the execution.
Right. The usual media witnesses for the actual execution usually includes a wire service and then a reporter from the paper of record. So it's not so much me as it is the Press Enterprise, as the newspaper, the local newspaper of where this crime took place. But whenever this execution takes place, I'm scheduled to be there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rich, for joining us.
Thank you.
And for all of you out there, please know that there's going to be a lot of changes and updates between now and the scheduled execution time at 9 p.m. Thursday. So please check with PE.com throughout that time for those updates. I'm Liam Truchard. Thanks for joining us.